Welcome back. In this lesson, we will learn how to write and format text messages. When we want to write a new message, the first thing we will do is click on the Compose button in the top left corner of the interface. When we do this, a message editing window will open in the bottom right corner of the interface. We can write the message in the window in this place. Or we can click on this button with a double arrow to expand the editing window so that it takes up a larger space over the interface. If we want to make the window return to the default format, just click the arrow button again. But for this lesson, I will leave the window in expanded mode. If you want the text editing window to always appear in this expanded mode every time you compose a new message, you can click on this icon in the bottom corner of the message and click on the default to full screen option. This way, every time you click on Compose, the editing window will already appear in this way. If you want the editing window to appear in compact mode by default, just return to this menu and uncheck this option. Now let's start preparing the email. To send a message, there are three main fields that we need to worry about: the recipient field, the email subject, and the message content. Let's start by talking about the recipients. To send an email message, we need at least one recipient. To insert a recipient for this message, I will click on the To field and type in the email address. This example message will be forwarded to my coworker Ryan. So, I will enter his complete email address here in this field. When sending a message, if desired, we can write to more than one recipient. To illustrate, I will also add Daniel as a recipient, who is the other coworker interested in this message. But this time, instead of manually typing in his email address, I will copy the email address from an existing message. To do this, I will temporarily minimize the message editing window by clicking on this Minimize button. Note that when I do this, the message will be temporarily minimized in the lower right corner of the interface. Now, I will click on any message from Daniel that I have already received. If I hover my cursor over the sender's name in my inbox, or over the sender's name in the message itself, we will see a small card with information about the recipient. If I hover my cursor over the email address that appears and click on this icon next to the address, the email address will be copied to the computer's clipboard. So now I can expand the message again by clicking on the Minimize icon or on the arrow icon twice. I can click on the To field again to enable editing of the recipients and paste Daniel's email address by right-clicking and clicking Paste, or by using the Ctrl+V shortcut. Now let's take a look at the other two types of recipients we can use in an email message. When we have the To field active, we can see two other options in the right corner. The CC option, which stands for carbon copy, and the BCC option, which stands for blind carbon copy. The conventions for using these options are as follows. In the To field, we will put the recipients directly related to the message, or, in other words, those who need to take action regarding the email in question. In this case, for example, I will write an email informing about a report that is of direct interest to Ryan and Daniel, who are the direct recipients of the message. As they need to get the report and check its contents, I have put them in the To field. The CC field, carbon copy, is used for people who need to know what is being discussed in the message, but who do not necessarily need to take action on it. In this case, for example, I want my boss to also receive the message. This way, he will know that I have finished and delivered the report. But since he is not the one who will read or check the report, he does not need to be a direct recipient. So, I will click on the CC option to be able to enter his email address. Now, all I have to do is enter his email address in the CC field. As I already have my boss's email address added to my contacts, you can see that I just need to start typing his email address, and the rest of his address will appear. We will talk more about how to manage contacts in a future class. So, when you already have a contact and this happens, you just need to click on the address so that it is added to the recipient list. The other type of recipient we have is BCC, which means blind carbon copy. I will click on this option to make this recipient box available. The difference of this option compared to others is that the email addresses we put in this field will not be visible to the other recipients. This means that when I send this message, both Ryan, Daniel, and Anthony will see that the message was sent to these recipients. However, the address I put in the BCC field will not be seen by any of them. In this case, I will put my sister Emily's email address in the BCC field. To do this, I can minimize the message, copy Emily's address from a message she sent, and paste it into the BCC field. This way, she will see that I sent this email to my work team, but the team won't see her address. This field is useful for many situations. A common example is when you want to send an email to people who don't know each other, and you don't want them to see each other's email. All the people whose email is in this field will not appear to the other recipients. Now I'm going to type the message title, which should be entered in this subject field. And finally, I'm going to type the message content in this larger field of the editing window. Just click here and start typing. If you want, you can enable spell checking of the text. To do this, just go to the menu at the bottom of the window and click on Check Spelling. Words that appear highlighted can be corrected by clicking on them and choosing from the options offered in the menu. If you want, you can also change the language of the text correction in this menu, which is located in the lower right corner of the window. Sometimes, while you are typing, Gmail may identify what you are probably trying to write. In these situations, the suggested text will appear next to the text you are typing. If you want, you can press the Tab key or the right arrow on the keyboard. If you do this, the suggested text will be automatically applied. If you don't want to use the suggestion, just continue typing normally. After writing the message, you can change the formatting of the text if you want. To do this, simply click on this button with a letter at the bottom of the window. This will open a menu with the basic options for text formatting. You can use the left arrow to undo a command, or the right arrow to redo a command. If you click and drag to select a part of the text, you can make some formatting changes to it. You can choose a different font from the font menu. You can change the text size in this other menu. And you can apply the bold, italic, and underline formatting with these buttons. In this other button, we can change the text colors. In this left field, we can change the background color of the text. And in this right field, we can change the color of the letters of the text. Next to it, we can change the alignment of the paragraph. The default alignment is left, but we can change it to center alignment or right alignment. If we have a part of the text selected and click on these quotes, the text will be formatted as a quote. We can also select a part of the text and increase the indentation with the Indent More option, or decrease the indentation with the Indent Less option. And if we click on this button with a crossed out letter, the text will be struck through, as if it had been corrected. If we want to remove any formatting from the text, simply select all the text and click on this last button. This command resets the formatting of the selected text. It's possible that some spacing formatting will be replaced by these markings. If you want to remove these markings, you'll have to manually delete them using the Delete or Backspace key. Another formatting option we have is the formatting of lists. We can select a series of items and format them as numbered by clicking on this button. Or as bullet points by clicking on this other button. Now I'm going to adjust the spacing between the paragraphs to finish the text. To do this, I will simply click on the areas with extra space, and click Delete to reduce the spaces, and click on the places where I want to add range lines and press Enter. And finally, I'm going to insert some images to show how they can be used. To insert an emoji, simply click the cursor at the position in the text where we want to place the emoji, and click on this menu button. Here we can see some categories of images. In the Faces category, I'm going to choose a face with glasses for the part where I say I finished my task. I'm also going to insert an emoji with dollar signs for the part, referring to the company's profits. We can also see other categories, such as object images, natural element images, transportation images, and symbol images. For the part where I refer to my sister's move, I'm going to insert a truck symbol. And one of a box. And now I can consider my message finalized. If by any chance you close the message box instead of sending the email, you may think you lost all the configuration you made. But when we close the editing box of a message without sending it, it's saved in the drafts box. So, just click on Drafts in the left column and click on the message to open it again. Now I can review the message and correct any errors that may still be present. I can check if my recipients are correct. And I can click on the Send button in the bottom left corner of the window. With this, the message will be sent correctly to all recipients. If we click on Sent in the left column, we can see all sent messages. And if we click on the message in question, we can see the content of the message in the reading pane. And these are the basic functions of creating and formatting messages. Thanks for watching, and until next time.